Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Sorry for being a little out of it. It's been a long process, crazy COVID-19 and all that. I graduated college and it's just been kind of wild. So today I'm doing an unboxing and review of this right here, which is the Mount Pro dual monitor stand. Essentially, you're going to attach it to the side of your desk. It's going to be able to hold two 27-inch monitors. Up to 27-inch monitors. So I figured I'd kind of unbox this for you, and then we could set it up, and I'll show you guys what it. Alright, so with everything here on the table, you can kind of get an idea of what we're looking at. I'm just going to cut open this so you can release the arms, but you got your screws. They give you all the tools you'll need. You have the larger metal piece here up front, and the one to the right are going to be used for the mounting to the side of the desk, and then the two smaller metal brackets on the right, along with the long bolt in the middle there, kind of by in between the three Allen wrenches there. That is all going to be used for connecting it through a grommet. And on the far right, you can see the two mounts. I'm kind of just going over. So these are going to be where you adjust the tension inside of it, and then you can obviously see the shrouds for where you can hide your wires. This is the mounting directions. I'm showing you guys this because I only did the grommet version just because I didn't want to have to set it up. Ultimately, I had to do it twice anyways, but they are a 90 by 90 and 100 by 100 VESA mounts, and they just slide on like that. And then those black hand screws right there are how you would just tighten it down. So I got it set up. The reason I had to do it twice was because you may have noticed I actually had installed it backwards, which was quite frustrating after everything I did. Not only did I have to move my computer from the table to the floor, I also had to completely redo the entire setup again just so that I could flip it around. I'm glad I did. I was just going to leave it, but it kind of bothered me, so I did flip it around, and it gave me a very different perspective on it. So yeah, so you can just mount these pretty easy. The hand screws just kind of go into the top there. I originally put the wrong screw in, but it does end up being just the black hand screws that mount in there. They come pretty loose. I think they're starting at about the 24-inch monitor like weights. So if you have larger monitors, you're gonna need to tighten down those tension screws inside the arms. That'll help keep your monitors steady. Something to keep in mind when you do have these kind of dual mounts that are connected at one base port by these arms, there is typically a little more wobble in your screens, just in general. Like if you hit your desk a little bit, or as you're typing, there's a little bit of wobble through the screens. That is something to keep in mind if that's something you hate. I will say with this particular monitor, it was a little tricky because it's recessed when you're trying to put it in. It kind of is a little bit tough, and I would say if you had another monitor that was even more recessed than that, I would be concerned that it actually might not fit. As you can tell, I kind of had to slam it on there. But yeah, it's just going to be a hand screw on the top. That makes it easy if you need to switch out your monitors, and as long as they're using the same cords, you can just keep the same cords running through. It is a little pain in the butt to change out those cords. You have to use a screwdriver on the bottom of them, and the bottom piece of the arm is kind of in an awkward spot. You really have to use the tool they gave you because a normal screwdriver won't fit, and there's no way to adjust that height. this is where I really needed to. Mine came actually slightly, I don't know, they screwed it on the wrong way. It was kind of coupled, or like it was catching, and so it was super loose, so I had to do a little bit of extra work on that, but ultimately it worked out fine. The tensions got right. They completely rotate. I will say 27-inch monitors, it is a little hard to get them to stack. It really would depend on, you know, your situation and, you know, how much room you have. You'd have to really play with the ability for the arms to move, and I'm kind of backed up against the wall here, so I don't really have the ability to swing that out. So I can get them almost to stack on top of each other, but one has to be completely set on the desk, and then the other one can kind of get over, but you would need to be able to swing that back a little further to really get it good. But ultimately I've been having this for quite a few days now, and once I turned it around, it was a totally different situation. I don't know why, but because it's backwards, the arms just don't want to move as well as they should. So once I got them all switched around and all the tensions right, it really has been a pretty decent mount for me, honestly, for the price it's at. Here's me trying to get them to stack, but it just doesn't quite work. But if that isn't a problem for you, then it's not a big deal. Or if you have 24-inch monitors, I'm sure you could do that just fine. It's just that because they're so wide, to get one to come all the way out over the top edge of it, it kind of clips. So this is kind of the setup I had before I had to move the monitor or the computer back to the floor, because when I switched them, I now had to route the shorter cords all the way over to the Dell, or which side the Dell was on, and it just wasn't going to work. So I ultimately have set it on the floor down to my left. Right where I'm standing actually is where my computer is now sitting, which allows the cords to be run a little better, and it gave me plenty of room on the other side of my desk, so it wasn't a big deal. Here's me taking off the shrouds. They're decent. They're just a piece of plastic that are going to be covering them. They do a good job of actually covering them, but I will say if you have more than about 3 cords in it, it's going to be brutal. My Dell has 3 cords that need to be plugged in: the power, the display port, and the USB hub piece in it. And getting all 3 of those to get in there cleanly is difficult. So I would imagine if you tried to get a 4th in there, it could be extremely difficult to do. It will be a lot easier if you have, a better, cable system, but I have shorter cords, so I just had to be really careful about where I moved them. So another thing is you can move them a little bit by the time and then be able to plug in stuff. So you have a little bit of wiggle room here, but ultimately this is me trying to figure out exactly how to do it, but I ended up moving it anyway. So I'll show you the final picture here, and that is what it all looks like. So thank you guys for watching. I just want to say, if you guys are interested in this particular mount, it is a great mount, and you guys should take a look at it. I do think it's worth the money. It's only about $60 on Amazon right now, and I do think that for what it is and how much it is, it's a great setup, as well as they have single, double, and triple mounts, all from Mount Pro, and I would imagine if any of them are just like this, that they are a pretty good deal, and I would recommend that you guys pick them up if you're in the market to buy dual monitor mounts.